welcome to the Progressive Unity summertime special. Well, the first one of this summer. There's going to be one or two more, and we're doing an early one this year because we've got a special guest with us, which we'll come to in a moment. But looking around the table, got some glum faces. Is it the weather?
It's not.
No,
it's not blowing yet, has it?
No.
It's just your boring introduction. Let's get on with it. Come on, we've got a special guest.
Right, okay. Lack of football, is that it?
Lack of football, that's it, Barrett, definitely, yeah.
The lack of football. Right. Anyway, so I'll just quick run round the table so everybody knows who's here. Gareth, how you doing?
Good evening.
Rob?
Not so bad, Barry. Not so bad.
Excellent.
Good, thanks.
Adam? Nice one. Have you done your exams? Was it exams last week?
I've got 2 left, and that's it.
Oh, how's it going?
So it's alright, yeah.
Good stuff.
You should be at home revising then.
Nah, he's done it up at Runshaw, aren't you? Yeah.
Oh, that was a nice club.
Your
Right,
legacy's
nice club.
living long on.
Mine, yeah. Well, there you go. Mick?
Hiya. Alright.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Very well, thank you.
Good.
Catherine?
Fine, thanks, Barry.
Paul?
Evening.
Evening. Dan?
Konnichiwa.
Pardon?
Oh,
hello.
Whoa.
And
Chinese,
Emmerson?
How you doing?
Very well, thank you. Yeah. So our special guest for this evening, for the show, in the studio with us, not by telephone or at the ground or anywhere, but in the studio.
In the
is
flesh.
International footballer, Emmerson Boyce. Right, Emmerson, you said you'd come along and do a podcast after we surprised you with a This Is Your Life night. You said, I'll do anything you want, didn't you? And I said, come do a podcast.
Yeah, no, definitely. After that night, it was a touching night for myself, and I'm truly grateful. And as I said to you before, anything you want me to do, I'll be more than happy to do. And you asked me to come down today, and as a man of my word, I come down.
Man of your word, yeah, and here you are.
Good idea.
So, did you have any inklings that night at all? Anything? Did you any suspicions?
No, not at all. To be fair, my wife's done well keeping it from me. Even my kids as well, which is a bit worrying. But it took me totally by surprise. Was on the way down, and my wife told me we had to turn around to get something for my little daughter's hair. And I'm like thinking, what's she on about? And so we had to turn around, and that's why it was late.
Oh.
So, but I found out my parents were stuck on the motorway. So,
so that's what you were about.
Right. So,
yeah. Nice one, Lucy. Yeah.
No, but no, it was I don't normally shed a tear in public. At the best, at home, in the best of times, and it brought tears to my eyes to see how many fans were there, and the night was special, and I thank you all, for putting that night on for me.
I think the biggest complaint from the night was people that couldn't get a ticket, didn't know about it.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I said to Barry was everybody who was asked to get involved or do anything just said yes straight away.
I mean, originally when we first got the idea, we thought, are we going to get people there, without telling anybody? Because that's what you're going to do with a surprise too, isn't it? And Paul said, you'll have no problems, didn't you? You said, word will go, and it did, didn't it? And away we went. But it was a good night. There was one or two tears, as you mentioned, but there was quite a few laughs as well, weren't there? Some characters there.
Yeah, some players I played with, Figueroa, Hess was there, and Brownie, Kirky. It was, and also my cousin come down as well, Matthew Phillips. And it was, or should I say, come up. But it was, see some faces, and obviously the fans was what made it special. So many people turned out, and obviously kept it quiet, and to walk out room and see that room full just for yourself, it's a fantastic feeling, and something I will never forget.
Yeah. And one of the things that I enjoyed, I must admit, because I played it over and over, was the Palace boys. I mean, there must have been a special bond over them lads. You could see it in the messages that they sent, and it was so funny. It's really good. Fitz all sorted that out, by the way.
Yeah, Fitz. No, as I say, if it wasn't for Fitz, I wouldn't have come to Wigan in the first place. The Palace days was, for me, it was a great experience. The change rooms was good. That's my first time in the Premier League, and we always experiencing new Premiership and that football at the time. and it was just a great bunch of lads. Ian Dowie was the manager. Obviously, he was there that night as well, and I got huge respect for him because without him, I'd never had a chance in the first place. And throughout your career, you always get one manager that believes in you so much that he, no matter what you do, he always trusts you, and he was that manager for me, and I'll always be grateful for him. But with the Palace boys, Clinton Morrison, Fitzhall, Wayne Andrews, who's going through his own problems at the moment health-wise, and it was great to see him on that video. And as you see on the video, he's a great character, and obviously Wayne Routledge and the rest. But no, it was a good time for me in terms of no pressure, just playing and enjoying football. And it was a great bunch of lads there.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate on the dancing on the table story? Were you literally dancing on the table?
Do you know what? I was actually drunk. Do you know what? It was halfway through the season, and we went out for I think it was our Christmas do. And I'm normally quite quiet, and it's just been one of them weeks where we had a couple of good results. We looked good. We looked like it was going to be safe, and I think it just got to our heads, and we was out partying, and you know what? I all I remember is the song come on, and some reason something just took me, and I was away. I was away, and I ain't let me forget about that ever since. So it must have been some scene anyway.
Fantastic. And that evening, we had to get one or two things with the ticket money we had to buy, but at the end of the evening there was money left over, and there's £843, Emmerson, and it's going to go to wherever you want it, whichever charities you want it to go to. Yeah, no, again, raising that sort of money is fantastic, and the charity I gave half of it to already is Joseph Goal, because obviously everyone knows Ambassador for him, and it's a charity that's close to my heart in terms of helping them and stuff like that. And the second charity will be something to do with asthma, because obviously my son he suffers from that, and he's been through some battles with it, and he's been hospitalised and stuff like that and ventilated. So I think Asthma Awareness or Asthma UK, I'll try and confirm it at a later date. But I think it's important to raise awareness of asthma, especially the effects it has on families, and obviously it is a life-threatening thing. So the other half will go towards our asthma foundation or something like that. Brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Right, so moving on from This Is Your Life, which was I think we all enjoyed as well, didn't we?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. There was a little secret though about the afternoon, weren't there, Catherine?
Yes, there was.
When nothing would work during the day, we had a little bit of a meltdown, didn't we? We plugged everything in the room where we was going to project it, and nothing worked, did it?
No.
And we spent an hour trying to get it, and we could have done with your IT skills. Yeah, we sorted this out though. Anyway, moving on from there, and you're talking about Joseph Goal. On Friday, which you've just gone, he was involved in a Joseph Goal Legends game, weren't you, up at Ashton Town?
Yeah, no, it was it was a great occasion. I know Paul's been talking about it a while, trying to arrange a football game, and obviously trying to find a date that fits in, because everybody finished at different times. So it was great to see Roberto there, and obviously Bonner that came down, and obviously the Wigan Legends that came and turned out. The first game obviously got postponed, so it was a bit worrying that people had to go and couldn't make time. But it just shows you how important that charity is to the town in terms of the players that came out. Obviously, we have to say thank you to the Hollyoaks people that came out and put on a good show. And, but now, as a whole, the fans that came out and support the charity as well, it's a fantastic cause, and the research I heard from him today is going really well. And without the help of people and people supporting it and making it awareness, it's helping them to get further research done for the cause. So. No, it's fantastic, and I enjoyed the game.
Brilliant, yeah, and you had a central defensive partner, and that was it was a bit strange, really, wasn't it?
I said to him, "Where's he been all my career?"
but people don't realise it was Chris Kirkland. Chris Kirkland, yeah.
Kirky, when we were training, he used to like coming out on the farther sides and playing that, but we used to tell him to get back in goal. He thought he was a kind of a striker, but on that night he was heading it, he was switching play, he was bringing balls down, and I was like, Kirky, where's this come from? But Chris is a great guy. Obviously, he came when I came, and I've always got time for him, and he's as a character, he's fantastic. He's a nice guy, and I enjoy playing with him.
Yeah, it was very good. What did you make of it, Adam?
No, it's really good. Great to see so many people there. I think it was nearly sell it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think we saw more Wigan goals than we had at the DW. which was enjoyable. It was. Got Ellington on top form as well.
Well, it was actually prepared for that, wasn't it? The best centre forward performance of the season. Nathan Ellington in the Legends game.
And your man got a goal as well. It was a sweet volley, wasn't it?
Yeah,
You owned the scoring, did you?
No, I came.
Oh, it was after Roberto, sorry, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was also I was playing defence most of the game, and Kirky just said, "Go up. You want to, try and get yourself a goal." And next thing I know, I found myself playing left wing, and I can't remember who headed back, and
David Lowe.
And just connected it nice, and it went in. First of the season. It all counts, so I take it.
Yeah.
Didn't you say to us a few weeks ago, Barry, that at the start of Emmerson's career you were a striker? Is that right?
Yeah, I was a striker at the start of my career. Under 10s at Aylesbury United, went all the way up to under 15s, and as soon as I signed schoolboy forms with Luton, the very next game they put me in defence. So I was like, hold on. But you rely on people making choices in your career, and I've been lucky enough. Obviously, they saw something in me then. I'm always grateful for Steve Greenhalgh, who started off my career. He took me everywhere. My parents used to work, and he literally, without him, my career probably wouldn't have got going, because he took me to Luton, took me to Milton Keynes, took me to all the away games, and he even came up the other night and comes to support me at Wigan. So, I owe a huge debt to him in terms of helping me progress my career and just the support of getting me to places. So I started off as a striker under him, and he put me in defence a couple of times, and I don't think I spoke to him, a long while. I used to play, but I was sulking quite a lot.
It was quite strange when we started sorting this out. I actually met Steve in Brussels. Was it Bruges?
Bruges.
And she had a taxi with him into town for the away game in the Europa League. And when we started doing this, Barry said, there's an interview that he did on YouTube that's on 3 Counties Radio. Can you listen to it and write it all down? And he's going to copy it. I was like, I recognise that voice. And I was like, where do I recognise him? And then I placed him. Yeah, so first time I met him, I shared a taxi with him in Bruges.
Small world.
Madness, yeah.
But he's a great guy, and I've always got time for him.
We were chatting for about a quarter of an hour waiting for the taxi to arrive.
What was it like that? Paul mentioned the Europa League. It was something that I could never have dreamed of, to be honest, but for the club. My first game was 1971, so I go back a long time watching the Latics. And in them days, I used to dream about going to the first round of the FA Cup. That was the dream. And perhaps pulling a big club out like Halifax or someone like that. In fact, that was my first game. That Halifax Town down here, 2-1, we beat them. So to get to play in Europe was just, it was like really the icing on the cake. But what was it like for yourself?
No, it was fantastic. As a player, as a kid, you always watched the European nights, and you always wish you could experience it. And up until that season, you still watch TV, still watch the Europa games, and hear the anthem, and you always have a dream of playing there, but don't actually believe you can play. And so when we actually walk up for the first time, and I had the honour of obviously captaining the team out to play against away game first in against the Belgian team, and it's a feeling that I can't really describe in terms of on a foreign, you're basically representing England. And cut a long story short, a little club of Wigan is representing England, and we got a good result. The fans came out and enjoyed themselves, and
well, you didn't see the side that we saw, because we were sat in that square in the centre of Rouge. There was some sights there, I can tell you. Yeah.
Oh, one of the funniest things that I saw with that was there was people couldn't believe it. Was like going back to the 1980s. The stewards had a fag lit. They were all smoking
All
on
the
the
grounds,
stand
yeah.
and drinking the beer like in the seats. And
Non-alcoholic.
yeah, it was only when we came to the leg at home and somebody said, "Oh, this all right, this beer thing." No, you're not allowed any. It was, "Oh, well, we had it all out there." So I was all non-alcoholic.
So we were all getting drunk on non-alcoholic beer. Yeah. But when we got there, went by coach. We got some coaches up, and I think we got there probably 12:30 lunchtime. Yeah. We sat in that square till 6:00. It was brilliant. It was just brilliant. And then we tried to walk it to the stadium, but the heavens opened, didn't they? I mean, it was a bad night, wasn't it? It was hammering it down.
Yeah, there was a police escort as well, wasn't there, up to the stadium, and they didn't even take us by the shortest route. I think they took you a long route just to get a few people sober up a touch. One way around.
No, but say experience-wise, for the fans, for the players, something that you wouldn't believe that could happen. And going to countries that you had a choice to, we probably wouldn't have even gone to in the first place. Yeah. So actually go and play football there and experience Kazan and stuff like that. I probably wouldn't be going back there. But no, you get to experience it and different cultures, and no, it was great.
There was a great banner which said "For our grandfathers and our fathers," weren't there? And that was up in the square in Bruges. Yeah, it was fantastic.
I don't know what it was like. Where did I go?
You not go?
I didn't go. No,
Oh.
I didn't go either.
It was surreal. We were sat on the Euro tunnel. We left Wigan about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Drove down overnight, and then got on the early doors Euro tunnel. Went to the hotel, got our heads down for a couple of hours, and then went out in the square. But you sat there thinking, I'm going here to watch Wigan. Yeah. It was just surreal. It just did not feel real.
It was all good nature too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There was no intervention.
Well, there was a bloke near us who he must have been about 6'4", and built like an heavyweight boxer, absolutely falling off. But everyone he knocked over, he just turned around and gave him a kiss when he got up, and it just there was nothing to it at all. It was it could have turned quite nasty, but it was absolutely brilliantly natured.
Yeah, and of course we qualified for Europe through what? How did we qualify for Europe again?
Fair play league.
No.
Best kits of the season?
No, definitely not last season.
Black shorts.
No, don't mention them.
Sparkliest boots.
I know what it was. Winning the FA Cup.
Never.
Winning the FA.
What, a little team like Wigan?
Yes.
Give all.
Yeah.
Honestly.
What's it like being the captain of a FA Cup winning team? That must be the thing that of dreams are.
Yeah, I remember when I had the cup, when we actually won it, looking to the crowd and I see my brothers, and when you're little, we used to play in the park and pretend we were playing at Wembley, winning the FA Cup. To actually step out of Wembley in the first place as a FA Cup final, and see the atmosphere, and half of it I can't remember, to be honest with you. You come out and see a sea of blue, and I didn't remember that entertainment that was going on. I can't remember the woman singing.
Oh, the ones singing Abide With Me were crap.
They were awful.
Yeah, bad way.
Awful. But the thing was, it didn't matter though, did it? Because we sang it ourselves, didn't we?
Yeah. And the bit before, that must have been half an hour before kick-off. You had the brass band, Royal Guards, which I think it was the Grenadiers, playing brass, and you sat there and you're thinking, oh, this is great. This is what Cup Final Day is all about. They're playing Michael Jackson. they were playing like, it took a while to sink in that they were Michael Jackson and Queen and things like that. They were playing like rock, popular musical type stuff.
Can I just go in and ask you this, Your Eminence? When
Yeah, Emmerson.
is it Eminence the Holy Voice? Don't forget that. Playing the semi-final at Wembley and then going to the final. Do you think playing the semi-final at Wembley kind of took a little bit of the edge off the final being at Wembley as well?
No, not at all.
Right.
Because I suppose half the reason was you never know if you're going to get back there.
Yeah.
So for a chance to play at Wembley anyway is it's a dream come true.
Mm-hmm.
To go back again as a final is like a bonus, and in terms of.
Yeah, but we played Millwall. You must have known.
That was one of my favourite games, because I saw Danny Shittu get interviewed, and he said the way to get at Roberto's team is to not give them any time on the ball, get right in their faces and close them down. And honestly, I don't think one of you put a pass wrong that day. Because as soon as anybody got close, the ball moved, ping, ping, and they were just chasing shadows.
We knew as soon as when we looked at the draw, as soon as we saw we had Millwall, that was you're half believing that you're going to get there. Obviously you got to perform, but we knew in our hearts that we could get there, and we knew we weren't going to give this opportunity up. So to play the semi-final was, for us, probably made it easier going to the final because you already experienced it. You already had the walk around, the tour around, and I'd never been there before. So it was the first time I looked in the stadium, and we went down, I think, on the day before and went and toured around the stadium and stuff like that. But in the cup final, we never did that. You know what I mean? So we took all the atmosphere in already, and then when we come to the final, we just knew we had to perform, and everything just went into place. And never forget, we woke up that morning. I spoke to my friends, and as calm as you can be, because we just knew I knew in my heart that we was gonna win that game. But believing it's different. You know, I mean, I thought we could win it, but to actually win it is, it's like a dream come true. And that final whistle, you're still looking at it and pinching yourself, and you still can't believe they actually win it. And it's a great feeling.
I was listening to that documentary on BBC this afternoon, and again, like I say, it's hard to believe it was done.
Yeah.
I think in the crowd, about 15 minutes before the end, we were sensing that this is achievable. And then when there was the sending off, now I don't know if it got down to pitch level, but there was and all the Wigan fans were just and it was gradually getting louder and louder and louder. Now everybody was actually screaming for a penalty when that called.
It was a penalty.
Oh, come on! What's going to have a bloody penalty then? What's Maloney doing? Take it. But there was that feeling of we can do this now. We can do this.
Yeah. It took me best part of 2 years watching that challenge and seeing it not giving us a penalty to get over it.
Yeah.
It's like he took the corner and we scored, and it still annoys me.
The turning point for me was Joel's save. With his foot. That was incredible. That and when that happened, you saw it. That was in the first half, wasn't it? It was right in front of us, and you sensed, hang on a minute, something's got. This could be out here. Because I was like, let's do 10 minutes and keep it level.
Yeah.
Let's get to 20 minutes and keep it level. And then it was half time. I think it's like still level, Because no matter who you are, we were playing Man City,
Exactly.
the richest team in the world, with all the superstars. I know we've been up to the Etihad a couple of weeks before, and we should have won that game, shouldn't we?
I think that was a turning point in terms of our mentality. Obviously, we played Man City a couple of weeks before, and we felt that we should have got something from that game.
Yeah.
And we went into the Wembley game without fear. Tevez scored a great goal, and I think it was there and had about 1 or 2 shots on target for the whole game. And it was easy for Roberto in that time to rest a lot of players because we had a so-called more important game, I think, against West Ham on the Saturday, which on paper you think West Ham's more important than Man City. But he went there with a strong side, and we played really well there. And then when we got to the cup final now, this had a sense that we could cause a major upset. And say we never actually. If you ask everybody, if they truly believe they could win it, they'll say, yeah, we hope we could win it, but to believe it is completely different. But as I say, we weathered the first 10 minutes. Joel made some good saves, and then as the game went on, Callum was having chances and was running the guy all ragged, and and that shows his ability, and hopefully he can recapture that later in his career. But obviously when the sending off came, we just had that sense. I personally knew that we was going to win it in 90 minutes. I didn't feel like it was going to go extra time or penalties. I just felt that in 90 minutes that we was going to win it.
We saw that in your face on that footage when it went in. For a second you just stopped as it hit the net, didn't you? And then you was away. What were the City players like afterwards? Were they gracious in defeat?
No, they were excellent. Company, they all stood there waiting, and Company was there, shook our hands, and Nasri and a few others, and literally, it was easier for them to go off sulking or say unfairly or whatever, but they was there gracious in defeat and wish us well. they probably back of their minds thinking we're going to get you later on next season, whatever. But no, it's you know, as a fellow professional and a sports person, that doesn't happen often.
No.
And you know, I always got a huge respect for the Man City players, and you know, fair play to them.
As they were the opposition, you know, they were the hated enemy.
Yeah.
But I must admit, at that point, when you were actually up there lifting that cup, they were applauding. And it was so noticeable that every single man jack of that squad was there applauding. And you could tell it was genuine as well.
The supporters were
Supporters, we bumped into a few in the services on the way up.
But that, for me, reflects the type of club Man City is. There are other clubs and other fans who wouldn't have been
Arsenal
like
were different last year, weren't they? When they did it.
That Arsenal was horrible because you felt had them penalties gone the other way, they would have just turned on Arsene Wenger and like no unity in their club at all compared to what we had.
But Roy Keane had the measure of them all, though, didn't he? Did you hear what Roy Keane said afterwards? He said, "My God," he said, "you thought they'd have won the cup. They haven't. They've only just got through to the. This is the biggest result of the season."
Beating Wigan.
And it was basically. It was. You know, to beat the cup holders. You know, I was gutted actually. It was.
Can I mention another special moment from the FA Cup day, please? Well, very special. The minute you walked out carrying young Joseph, well, it brought a tear to my eye, I must say. It was a very special moment, that. Very special.
It was.
Yeah, I have to hold my hands up, and I appreciated that in retrospect. Because at the time I was thinking, bloody hell, don't put your back out. There's nobody else to play. Because we were short.
Short defenders.
Right.
To be honest, I say I didn't realise I was going to touch so many people's hearts, and it was a genuine, just picking him up and carrying him. I honestly didn't know he had Joseph's goal on his back. I never saw his back because when I picked him up off his chair, I was literally just held him. So I remember Paul saying to me, "Can I push him out?" And I just said to him, "You know, it's all right if I carry him." And you know, in hindsight, maybe like obviously because he has fits and stuff like that. But I didn't really know all that sort of stuff. I just assumed that he'll be all right, and he was calm as anything. And I think he epitomised that day in terms of against all odds. He's there on the cup final day, calm as he can be, taking all the atmosphere, and I think that translated onto the rest of the team, just being calm and you know, and it was a special moment. And you know, I get letters. I remember someone that he said he was 87 years old, and he goes, he's not a Wigan fan. He just saw that moment on TV, and he goes, he cried because it was such a touching moment that you know, and it's and obviously for the charity now, it's you know. People always relate to that. So.
I've got to be honest with you, I was on the other side of the stadium, up in the top corner, and I didn't really see it that clearly. Because I think the people around us only realised once you'd actually got out and you started lining up, it's like, I was carrying him. Otherwise, I think the whole bloody stadium would have been crying. And I think it was such a visual thing for TV that we missed out on that and only actually totally appreciated it once you could see it on TV, on the replays afterwards. But it was absolutely. It's one of the all-time greatest sporting moments at Ants. Well done, you. Not just sporting, but humankind. It shows your qualities as a dad. There you go.
So fantastic, and obviously, I mean, we ended up playing Arsenal on the Tuesday afternoon. Where there was a thing. Was that what you said you were watching the stuff at the BBC with Gary Lineker?
Yeah,
because they interviewed Roberto Martinez on that,
yes,
and they said to him, "Did the FA Cup get you relegated?" Winning the FA Cup, and what he said was the fact it did, but not because we concentrated on the cup, but because the cup final wasn't the last game of the season, and it was an unfair disadvantage that was put on us. And I agree there. Because we played Swansea, didn't we? And then we had to play Arsenal.
I mean, you can't change what happened, but I mean, you look at the Swansea game. There was opportunities to have put that to bed and won that, and not had to go to Arsenal in the last game. But what happened. You know, I think Roberto said it in that thing, didn't he? That they asked Wigan supporters and players and staff and anybody, would you swap it? Not a chance.
Would you swap it?
No, not at all. As I always say, I think it was meant to be. It was either going to survive or win the cup. And you know, as a player, you always want to win something, and you know, to win the FA Cup, no one can ever take it away from you. People that play in the Premier League obviously want to be there, but there's always hope for the club to go back there. To win the FA Cup, there's not too many chances that you know you can go there all the way and obviously win the cup. So no, it was only a disappointing thing I think came out of it is because we played on a Saturday, we had no time to actually celebrate the cup. It was back on the bus back home, had a day off, and then back down to London. So then on Tuesday obviously got relegated. So it's kind of hard to actually appreciate the cup in terms of when you're seeing everybody else celebrating their, you know what I mean? Yeah, you see everybody else, you know.
That's why we didn't make it to Arsenal on the Tuesday. We were still on the pop.
Yeah, but no, it was it's one of those moments. As I say, it might have been fate. You know, if the cup final was a week later or after the season finished, we may not have won that. We may not have won it. So I'll never change history, and you know, it's one of those moments in history that can't be changed.
It's the cup final song, isn't it? Que sera, sera. What will be, will be.
Yeah.
And we did it. The following season, when the cup final finished and all the aftermath of that, and obviously Roberto went off to Everton, and then there was a bit of turmoil, weren't there, with players leaving, and then we had to get a new squad. At the start of that season, was you confident that we could actually get promotion back up to the Premier League at the first time, or I went to the Barnsley game and I thought we were just going to blow everybody away here, the way we played that day, but it never occurred again for me that season, that performance that we put in at Barnsley.
I think every team that comes down just assume you're going to get back up. I think Championship is one of the hardest leagues to get out of. Teams after teams proved it. That you know, no matter how much quality you got in your team, we're playing Saturday, Tuesday, and everybody wants to beat you.
Yeah.
And obviously we're the FA Cup holders now, and it puts a step. You know, even more people want to beat us. And we just couldn't adapt to it at all. I think the Barnsley game we won 4-0, and I think there was an international break or something anyway that happened after that, and just never got going again.
It was a Community Shield.
Our Community Shield, yeah.
Yeah, we should have played Bournemouth, shouldn't we? And we ended up playing them in the week.
United.
And played United, and we just for some reason, I don't know what it was. We just couldn't get back to where we were. We had quite a decent pre-season. Obviously started the season 4-0 winners, and we thought this is going to be easy.
We did.
You know, it's going to be easy, and
we did.
And then Doncaster turned up here.
Yeah.
And were they 2-0 up? And was 2-0 up.
3-3.
No,
Two
it's 2
apiece. Was that where we on by scoring and ripped his shirt?
Yeah. Don't stick about that now. We said to be cut before we went out.
Did he keep the shirt?
I don't know what he done.
Did he pay for it?
Probably.
Did he pay for a replacement?
But
Went to eBay.
I think that was a wake-up call that we just didn't take. That shows how hard the league is. Premier League, people let you play. We did lose a lot of technically good players. Alcaraz and Kone, and so-called bigger players, McCarthy. They all end up going, and we just couldn't adapt. I don't think. And obviously, Owen Call came in. His tactics are a bit different to Roberto. And again, when things are going well, it's going well. But when things go bad, then obviously, like anything, we just couldn't get back into our stride. Then obviously the change of manager again, and Rossa come in, and we thought we was gonna. If he came a bit earlier, maybe we would have, probably got up look for those automatic places. But even towards the end of coming to the playoffs, we started losing some games, and we never got our form back. Was that the steam running out of the team, do you think? That was the legs. I mean, listening to Rosler, he always said it was the Arsenal game at Wembley what did it. Yeah. Losing on penalties, psychologically and everything, it drained everybody. Has he got a point there, or do you think it was more to it than that? Yeah, maybe. It's kind of hard. We did have a lot of games played that season, and towards the end, maybe his team did run out.
He did make a lot of changes every week, though, didn't he? Trying to keep it fresh.
It did work. It was working, and then I think it just got to the pressure point of the season where he did start making changes, and I don't know whether it upset the players or something like that, or pressure came, and everyone deals with pressure differently. He probably looked back at his time now, and obviously he was still a young manager. Well, still is a young manager. So he might look at it and think he might have done things differently. The players might have looked at it differently now and how we approach certain games or what we did in certain games. But the QPR game just didn't, we just didn't get going really, and especially in the second game. We knew QPR a good team, and we just didn't really threaten them too much in terms of,
But even though we were unlucky not to get a draw because Rob Keenan's shot right at the end just whistled past the post, didn't it? And that would have.
It's an interesting thing there for me was, and for me, FA Cup wins aside, you go back, it was the end of the 2012, so 11-12 I think it was, or it might have, but that run at the end of the season, the side settled down just as we went into that run. We were the best team in the country for a couple of months. Yeah.
Well, what was it like playing in that team when we were just beating everybody?
No, it was a great feeling amongst the squad, let alone as a player. We saw the fixtures and we just thought, well, we've got nothing to lose, literally nothing to lose, and we beat. I can't remember who we beat first, but then we beat Man United and we
Beat Liverpool away.
Liverpool at
It
Anfield.
started with a draw at home against West Brom, didn't it?
Yeah, that was when we did the first meet and greet thing, wasn't it? And
Paul Sharner scored, didn't it?
how that was only a draw against West Brom, I've got no idea.
Battered them. Then we went Liverpool, and
Captain Cold, Cop Killer.
yeah. Then we got Stoke at home. We beat Stoke, didn't we?
Yeah, well, that was 2-0, but that was one of the most comfortable 2-0s I've ever seen against the top side.
And then that was it.
There was nothing.
It was away.
Just stay on.
Yeah,
Then we went.
we just felt like we couldn't. No, we couldn't. Weren't going to lose nothing, but we just had the confidence that we was going to score, and we was playing such a freely playing style. We was playing three at the back, wing backs, and it was just everybody just enjoyed playing football. Put it that way, and the results came, and next we know we're getting closer and closer, and then finally we survived, and it was just fantastic feeling.
And then we played Wolves in the last game, didn't we?
Yeah.
We had a round of applause because on 8 minutes for 18
You scored.
Jarvis, drilled
Oh,
one.
and you scored a cracker that game.
Yes,
Two.
two.
And you could have had an hat-trick, but you passed it.
Yeah, but no, even look at our fixtures then. We went to the Wolves game safe.
Yeah.
And a couple of weeks before, you wouldn't have imagined that.
Yeah, there was a period where that was the do or die game that you were hoping to get to that game with a chance.
So that run of fixtures was absolutely horrendous, weren't it?
Yeah.
Now, they're talking at the moment about Leicester City having the greatest year. It's a lot of rubbish, isn't it? We did it, didn't we?
Yeah, I think because they was bought at Christmas, isn't it? So
Well, we were bottom at Christmas.
Was it? Oh, yeah. we
We were the first team that was bottom at Christmas that didn't get relegated.
Yeah.
West Brom.
After West Brom.
Yeah.
We were
Alphabetically.
we bobbled in and out of the bottom spot for a while, and when we started our run, we were only 4 points behind safety.
Yeah.
But you look at the fixture difference. I mean, they've been playing the likes of Burnley and teams at the bottom that are already gone. We were going to Anfield and going to the Emirates and
Stamford
beating
Bridge.
United 2-0, but it only said 1-0 on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So,
To Moses,
how many games have you played for Wigan Athletic, do you know?
298.
298. Yeah.
298, yeah.
Yeah.
And 551 as a career total as well.
Say again?
551.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some matches, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I've been touched with, I've been lucky with injuries. I've not had a serious injury. Look at other players, I've gone through their careers and had operations after operations, and I've been lucky enough not to, I've broken a metatarsal and broken some ribs, but, I take them all day long compared to, compared to other people, and, I've been lucky enough and hopefully I can continue playing.
Yeah. Well, talking of that, what does the future hold? What? I mean, if we're talking about the Latics, is there any chance of anything? Is there still possibility something might happen, or do we not know?
You can never say never, but I think that Joseph's goal was more or less my last game, and what a great way to finish it if it is the case. Wigan come out and said they've made a final offer, and they're in every right to offer what they want to offer. So as I say, that was never the issue. The issue was that no one's spoken to me. Obviously, I've been at the club 9 years, and you thought someone would come and sat me down and mention anything to me, but no one did. So that's how it is sometimes. And any day regarding the contract offer, every club's and every person's allowed to offer whatever they want, and they offer me a contract, and at this minute in time, it's not suitable for me. So I leave. If I do leave, I leave Wigan with fond memories, and I wish the club well, and as football does, it moves on.
Yeah. So how does that look at the end of the season then? I mean, obviously there's not just yourself out of contract, there's other players. You play your final game, wherever it may be. I mean, it was at Brentford. Is the team back in the week after for a bit of light training or anything, or is that it? Is it just finish and away you go?
Yeah, sometimes it depends on the managers. Sometimes the manager wants you to come in on Monday, they do the body fats and stuff like that. But no, after Saturday, the Brentford game, that was it. We already knew our fate. The manager said he was going to start rebuilding next year. And I say after the Brentford game, I thought that was it. I wouldn't see no one again. So yeah, that was one of them. You walk away and
a bit sad, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit sad, but that's what happens in football. You just after the last game, there's a new chapter for everybody, and some people you see again, some people you don't.
Yeah, I think if you look overall, we've not had a bad ride, have we? I mean, obviously the last couple of years haven't been great, but overall, on the last, you've got 10, 20, 30, 40 years, whatever, it's been a good ride most of the time.
Not so bad upward part.
No, and when you look at a football table, the teams that are in the bottom section are considered failures. If you've got 20 businesses, the bottom businesses in the league table, they can still be successful, and it's the nature of sport. If you're at the top, you're brilliant. If you're at the bottom, you're rubbish. And that's how people.
What are you trying to say?
You're not, are you? That's what I'm saying. That's how people judge you.
Yeah.
You're not rubbish. You're playing in one of the top leagues in a good sport in a good country.
It's all relative, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
I find that actually. When you're saying that you ended contract, I mean, I was in the fire service for 20 odd years, and when I finished, I had a big do, and all the lads come, and the bosses came along, and then I went teaching, and when I finished there, same thing again, and that's the way normal people go about the business, isn't it?
Well, in the times and the places I've been involved in sport, there's always been an end of season gathering where people are given the opportunity to say goodbye if they are moving on. But it's also been a case where, whilst those things have been going on, there's always been a quiet word in the background saying, listen, we'll have a chat on a Monday, or we'll do this, or we'll do that. But it was never just a case of, that's it, take your boots off and walk away, and that's it, nobody says anything. I think that's pretty bad, actually, that. And I think that's a bad way for that club to have behaved. I really do. Now, perhaps the club would turn around and say, well, the chairman moving on, etc., change your manager, it probably got overlooked. But no, you don't do that with your main assets.
You can't overlook things like that, can you?
So
it sounds to me a bit like in a normal workplace where you have a break up for Christmas.
Yeah.
So right, we're all off next week, see you in a couple of weeks, and you kind of leave in that.
You see, even then you have Christmas do, don't you?
Yeah.
So you get a photocopy out and you all sit on it and do things like that.
That's usually beforehand, isn't it? It's not the
She
last.
doesn't mind, of course. The photocopier.
Barry, you're digging a hole off.
You told me love then?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit odd. It's strange and a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, weird.
I don't know.
So, something else that I saw written down, I mean, in the Observer was you spoke about the MLS, which I'll speak in a second about, but you also mentioned the possibility of setting an academy up in America. Is that something you'd be interested in doing?
Yeah.
Is that through the street soccer or separate?
Basically, I've got a team in Barbados called Bajan Elite, where we're trying to help the youngsters get through and develop them and give them opportunity, maybe an opportunity through me helping them to get into Europe or stuff like that, get into America. I've been asked a few times to help do academy in America, but because I'm not based there, it's always been, you don't really want to give your name to something and you're not there to control it and stuff like that. So that's always why I've been a bit, reluctant to do it. But MLS, does appeal to me. I always said towards the end of my career, I wouldn't mind going out there for a year just to experience it. As I said earlier, end of my career is getting closer now, and I start to think about it now. But no, it's a good experience I look on TV, I speak to Roger Espinoza, and he's enjoying himself back out there, and obviously Shawnee's gone over there as well. And more players going over there, younger age-wise, so I like to class myself as younger age-wise going over there.
But it's come on leaps and bounds. I remember it when it first started, and my team was the Cosmos, New York. Fantastic. I don't know if you've seen the film Once in a Lifetime about
bits of it, yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. And when you watch that, it just grabs all in, But I remember when all the players was there, Beckenbauer were playing for them. They were fantastic. Pele, yeah.
Best, yeah.
Who?
Best.
Cosmos.
No, I didn't look Cosmos.
No, I was going to say.
Who did Cosmos play then? Did they just play amongst themselves? Weekend? There was other teams.
But we're talking here, Michael. But it was more of a circus then.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's like a proper league. It's got quality about it.
Well, you look at you see it on TV, and you see the fans base. Atmosphere-wise, looks fantastic. The stadiums, America always do it like that anyway. They have big stadiums, and people come and fill it.
The weather's alright.
The weather's not too bad either, is it? But it's obviously they're trying to. Beckham went over there trying to raise the game, raise the awareness of American MLS over there. So Gerrard's going over there, Lampard's going over there, and a few former players are playing over there. So it's something that could be a good experience for myself if I do choose to go that route. I would love to play in England one more year. And then see where I end up end of next year.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of football played in America, isn't there? But I think it's getting that professional level to take off. I think, like you say, having seen that story of the Cosmos, and now they had it for a bit and it kind of died out. I think there's a good chance it'll properly catch hold this time.
Well, the Cosmos were one where it was too American, wasn't it? They just threw loads of money at it, didn't they?
Yeah. So I think circus is the right word.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's a bit more.
Well, I for one,
although
would hope that Emmerson will help us get us out of League One. I'm not bothered about Wigan Athletic with America, really. That's hoping they offer you a contract, of course.
I've got a bit of a question. When you headed over to America in the pre-season a couple of years ago, did you find that the fans and the people that came to the game, the local Americans, to put it that way, knew who you were? They were familiar with the FA Cup, English football in general?
Half and half. They knew us from England and knew we played in the Premier League. As soon as you say Premier League to them, they respond to you. Sometimes they think you're, not everybody obviously, but sometimes they just relate to you as being on the same level as Man United and stuff like that. So as soon as you say Premier League, they got interested in you as a player and as a team. So, but no, a lot of people came and watched the games. Obviously, they're trying to raise awareness themselves in America in terms of when we went out there for pre-season. But no, it was a good atmosphere. Obviously, the Americans are very outspoken and don't mind saying what they think. And no, we found it a good time out there, and we enjoyed the experience.
Well, I go there on holiday and it's
it's
fine.
3 or 4 times a year.
No, only once a year.
Yeah.
Twice a year.
Sometimes it's almost what weekend, don't you?
No.
You'll not be going in. Yeah?
No, we won't.
You'll had your wings clipped, haven't you?
It shows how MLS is raising its profile.
Yeah,
live matches are being broadcast on Sky, aren't they?
Yeah.
So we're beginning to show more of an interest in it.
Houston Dynamos, there's a team.
Yeah.
Last time I went, I looked at the MLS shirts and they're a bit expensive.
Who cares?
Yeah. Portland Timbers, the next player there.
Yeah, that's where Bridgewell is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Rovers.
Tampa Bay Rovers.
How does, like, talking to Ridgewell, somebody who comes in for a short period and then disappears again, how does that affect the dressing room? Because obviously if you've got a team that's been fairly, I mean it doesn't apply really at the moment because we haven't got a settled side, but if you've got a fairly settled thing, having players coming in and out, is that hard work or?
Nah, not really.
Get on with it.
because bases are low, so we normally get loan players in anyway. So some stay a month, some stay 3 months, some stay for the whole season. So he came in, he done well, and obviously when he goes, he has to get someone else to replace him, and he brought in Harry, I think.
Good player, Harry Maguire. Isn't he?
Yeah, he's a good future ahead of him, and, and that's just how it works. Everybody just, no matter who you are, once you cross that line, you're a team. So, yeah.
Yeah, for a change of tact here, I don't know if you saw the playoff final between Wycombe and Southend the other day. There was a tackle after about 5 seconds. Have you ever committed a tactical foul early on in the game, knowing the referee's cards are likely to stay in his pocket?
Not really. I'd try and get close to him first. But it's a part of the game. If you're going to do something right for your team, I haven't seen the tackle, so I don't really know.
Yeah, he's done him.
Has done him bad?
Yeah,
okay.
First they've kicked off and he's just gone straight through him.
Vinnie Jones.
Vinnie Jones. It's one of them. The referee, I suppose he's been lucky. The referee didn't really take it as serious as it should have been or whatever. So you don't tend to do it as early. Sometimes you try and leave something on them just to let them know you're there, and you normally tend to do it early. And you're lucky enough whether you don't get a booking or not, because obviously if you do get a booking, then you're in trouble for the rest of the game. So you do try and leave a little bit of mark on them, but if it's that bad as you're making out, then he was a lucky boy that he stayed on the pitch, I think.
Yeah, he was lucky.
Sorry, 3-part question this, Emmerson. Who in the whole of your playing career, not just here at Wigan, is probably the best player, gifted, talented player you've ever played with? Likewise, who's the most difficult you've had to mark and play against? And the third part of the question, who's the most absolute Looney Tunes player? Because we all know what Jimmy Bullard's like. So who's the most absolute Looney Tune player that you've actually been playing with?
Paul Sharner's got to take it. He's the nicest guy out of all. I got on really well with him, but he's not all there, I don't think. But in the nicest possible way.
He had an email back. He sent an email saying, "Can you do us a video or come on the night?" And Paul Sharner just went back and said, "Yeah, of course I can." And that was it. There was nothing else. So we half expected him just turning up.
In that fur coat that he's doing, yes.
So Paul Shannon was the absolute Looney Tunes. So in your playing time, who's the most gifted player you've actually played alongside or been in the squad with?
Play alongside, that's a hard one. Gifted, you look at Victor. Talent-wise, he's fantastic. From his Palace days to when he came to Wigan. Charles Nzogbia, fantastic player. Hopefully, he can get back in, sort his career out and get back, to where he should be. I played with Wayne Routledge. Trying to think now, trying to wheel him off. Hess, Hess is, until you play with Hess, you don't realise how good he actually is and how much work he actually does for the team. He gets unfairly enough. He gets a lot of criticism, and but what he brings to the team is is fantastic. Roddy Yeager. I'm trying to think of my 9 years at Wigan. Yeah.
And who's the player that gave you the most trouble? Who was the one who was the hardest to mark, the hardest to keep your eye on?
The hardest, he still gives me nightmares now, to be honest with you, was Ryan Giggs when he was going through his contract. I think he was about 30 at the time. I was playing for Crystal Palace, my first year in the Premier League, and we was playing Man United at the time when they just continuously attack you. He was playing left wing, I was playing right back, and he just literally tore me apart, to be honest with you. Literally, as soon as he gets the ball, he just kept running at me, and I remember coming after the game and the manager said, everybody's got a day off the next day. Boise, you could have 2 days off. I learned a great lesson from that game. And I don't think personally that no one else has done as, tore me as hard as he did. And he was a great player at this time. And I think I just met him one of them days that he wanted to show everybody, and it was on Sky as well. So I got a few jokes afterwards anyway. But yeah, he's you know, hardest I think I played against.
Thanks for that.
I've got another
At least it's
good
a fair,
question
it's a
here.
fair player to be saying, isn't it?
Graham, how old is Graham Barrow, and would you go toe to toe with him?
Nah, Graham, I've always gone with him. I've never had an argument with him or nothing like that. He's a nice guy. I hear stories about him. But,
They're all true.
yeah. But to be honest, I've never seen that side of him. I know he can, loses when he's got something to say. He will say it to certain players. But I've always got on well with him, and I've got not a bad word to say about him, to be honest with you.
Shouldn't you be asking that question of John Curver?
Get squared up to him.
Stupid man.
Right, Emmerson. We usually finish with a song, and I don't mean we all sing it, but, but we have a track.
Look at our song sheets here.
We have a track, and to be honest with you, I usually choose it, and I get to stick the week after for whatever I put on. But while you're our special guest of honour this evening, I'd like you to choose our finishing track. And is there anything that you'd like us to go out on?
Yeah, a song that's on my website, www.emmersonboyce.com. It's a song that, if you watch the video, I think it highlights the actual video. It's called "Alive" by Chase Status. It's a song that reflects, I think, my career as well. How the song goes. So that's the song I picked today.
Right, lovely. Well, thank you very much, Emmerson. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you very much indeed, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me, and keep up the good work.
So have a good summer from me.
And have a good summer from us.
Ta-ra.